Hello, Three Things with Ian, episode 52, February 21st. Would you believe that? February's flying by, unlike January. Anyway, it's Friday here. The sun is out. Look at that. Things are good, 31 degrees, almost above freezing. Can't wait for that to happen. Let's dive in. Breaking news, fresh off the press. One of the most asinine rules in sports is over. Yankees are allowed to grow a well-groomed beard. For years, this was a weird anomaly. Just really about control. I think there was really not much else to it. So Yankees are finally allowed to grow a beard. They were historically had to be clean shaven. So that's a big deal. All right, so it's Friday. We're going to do a new series called Unanswerable Questions with Ian on Fridays. I will probably wordsmith that title a bit. Today's first question. How many fish are in the sea? I'm going to pause for effect. You can give me a guess. Let me hear it. So, according to best estimates, and I hesitate to even call it an estimate, 3.5 trillion. That's the number of fish in the sea. Kind of like counting the grains of sand on a beach or the trees in a forest. It's a daunting, near impossible task. I think what makes it interesting is that if you think about the factors that go into that, predation, fishing, reproduction, environmental states, I think those are really the science questions that drive this topic. I found this interesting, though. There are close to 36,000 new species of fish. Not new, that's how many fish there are. There's about 36,000 species, and they're discovering over 2,000 new species a year. In 2020, about 196 tons of fish were harvested. So overfishing definitely can mess with this number. But I think sometimes it's just interesting to think about impossible questions. Unfathomable numbers. 3.5 trillion is just something it's hard to even wrap our minds around. There are a lot of fish in the sea. Historically, the ocean has always been considered the great unknown, the final frontier. We know very little about the ocean. Famously, we all know this. 3/4 of the globe is water. We have just begun to plumb the depths. It's very hard and difficult and expensive to go super deep. Those are not conditions ideal for the human body. Similar to Mount Everest, where you're above that death zone where essentially every minute you're spending, the environment is actually killing you. When you go super low, pressure, you understand, it's very difficult. So exploration is difficult. Interestingly enough, I did talk about a month ago about the Sea Lab and the early days of the undersea exploration. So that's going to be a new series called Unfathomable Questions. 3.5 trillion fish is the best estimate that I could get from the webs. Okay, topic number 2. Let's talk food. It's been too long. How do we upgrade our instant ramen? How do we elevate ramen? What do we do with ramen? I love ramen. Historically, not very creative, not very interesting when it comes to food preparation. Simple things that I've done in the past, and I'll dig into some more interesting things that you might be able to try. Substituting the water for a broth, a chicken or vegetable broth, can bring a bit more umami, a bit more savory flavor. I famously sometimes will add just vegetables, corn, peas, I guess scallions and other garnishes are in the vegetable family. Sometimes they're more for looks, but adding vegetables to instant ramen, adding a protein. You can get like a grilled chicken. I usually just fry an egg, put the egg on top. Gives it some more of that heartiness, some of that full-bodied flavor. I have seen people add mozzarella cheese or heavy cream. Kind of changes the dish, though, a bit, I would think. That kind of is, you're adding some dairy and some other lactose-fueled flavors. Scallions, fried garlic, sesame oil, a little bit of sesame seeds on top. Looks good, tastes good. Just adds more robustness to it. Sorry, I'm burping here. I've never really been a fan of seaweed. I want to like it, but the flavor profile is a little too, weedy, So famously, the only food that I really hate is beets. Seaweed is probably up there in my top 3 of foods I tend to avoid. And then obviously the spices you're adding. We live in a very spiced community of active cooks. Chili powder, sriracha, garlic powder, red pepper flakes. I don't really enjoy curry powder. I don't really enjoy adding a lot of spice, a lot of kick to my food. It's mostly because I'm not only weak, but it seems to overpower it, and I think I'm just tasting the heat. I'm wondering if other people have a more defined palate, and they can kind of parse out the flavors. For me, anything that's spicy, that's all that I'm tasting. I did see on the interwebs this phenomenon called TikTok ramen. Instant noodles stir-fried with butter, garlic, egg, and soy sauce. Like I said up top, it adds a bit of a sweetness to it. It adds some more umami flavor, some heartiness. I haven't actually ever tried that. Stir-frying anything with butter, I think, is probably a good choice. I know a lot of the viewers out there are probably... it's probably split, right? Probably half the people are consumers of instant ramen. They like it. They're okay with it. And then others are going to be more like, I'm going to go for the real deal, get that thicker udon noodle, and kind of do it right. So I kind of fall in the middle. I'm lazy, but if I can opportunity to purchase good ramen, I will do so. If I make it at home, it's going to be sort of college dormy. So that's a little conversation on ramen. I wouldn't call it a food trend. I think that 2 billion people consume noodles twice a day, so it's not really a new thing. But obviously, the introduction of Japanese and Chinese flavors into the American market, trying to get more authentic, I think, is a trend and is a positive thing. The last topic, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. No, I'm just kidding. TV jingles. Let's talk about TV jingles. I was in a mood where I just kind of wanted to Google something fun. I'm kind of on this nostalgic kick. I don't know what that says about me, but let's talk about jingles for a hot minute here. Folgers coffee. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. So I like this, but it's very presumptuous. The best part? Folgers? It's optimistic and cheery, but Folgers is not a great coffee. Anyway, it's a good jingle. Alka-Seltzer. Oh, what a relief it is. This one's interesting. This was first penned in 1976 and was so popular that Sammy Davis Jr., who was a very popular, maybe at the height of his career at that point, he recorded a version of this off the jingle. That's how ubiquitous is omnipresent in society, right? Obviously, you can't talk about jingles without talking about McDonald's. The I'm loving it, da-da-da-da-da, I'm loving it. I guess you're hearing my voice a lot today, too. There's a famous JFK quote that success has many fathers, and this jingle has many writers. Justin Timberlake has recorded it. Apparently, there's a German ad agency, Heye. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce it. This has been a very popular campaign. I think it's cool when institutions kind of stick with a logo or a through line in their marketing for like perpetuity. I think that's kind of cool because you see even the biggest brands, Pepsi, Coke, for some reason they're just always rebranding. When they finish a brand, there's a team working behind the scenes to do the next rebrand, like right away, right? Oscar Mayer Wiener. This could be a whole podcast or a whole episode of Oscar Mayer Wiener because I listened to an NPR story, which I wish I could remember more about it. And it was a professor who breaks down why jingles are so effective and so brainwormy and what makes a good jingle. And essentially, My Baloney Has a First Name. My Baloney Has a First Name. Na, 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 na. I don't know the whole thing, but he said that this was essentially a paragon of jingle perfection. It was silly enough. It was serious enough. It had a message. You were spelling something. It had a kid singing who was purposely kind of not off kilter, but not really like on key. Some of the dissonance, as opposed to the resonance, kind of played with like how we interpret and synthesize information. It was fascinating. I'll try to find it. Coca-Cola. I'd like to teach the world to sing. I don't know if they use this one still, but it's definitely a pretty awesome one. And in a day and age where inclusiveness seems to be, I don't know, I don't even go there. It was nice to see a Coca-Cola doing some inclusiveness with their advertisements. So what are some jingles that you remember? What are some what are some important lasting memories of great TV jingles. I will do a part 2 where I talk about great TV song intros. There are not many current good ones out there. Season 3 of The White Lotus went away from those like really interesting sort of sounds. I mean, you can like almost hear it now if you're a fan of The White Lotus. Season 3. Well, season 1 and 2 had a really great opening theme song. Season 3 is like completely just neglected to have any continuity there. But I think nowadays, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, is the best TV intros in the streaming world. We're skipping them, so you really only get one chance. And if it's not good, then the next episode you're going to skip the intro. So short and sweet, to the point, but get in there, say something, get out. Long gone are the 90-second jingles where they had a captive audience and they could just go to town. So I gave you 4.5 things today, guys. You got to respect that. We talked about ads and jingles. We talked about ramen. We talked about how many fish are in the sea. I gave you an answer. It's not correct, but it's what science can provide us right now. And then I even talked about the Yankees finally figuring out that making someone have a certain facial appearance is just ridiculous. So those are the stories today. Episode 52. Hope you enjoy it. Tell a friend. Be kind. Hug a stranger. Do a good deed. I will see you on the flip side. Bye.